Why can't all God's children get along? We can't all be right. We can't all be wrong. Da 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 da. Well, why can't we? I tell you, it's. I would say it goes back to the garden, and it does. I would say it goes back to what John chapter 3 talks about. Jesus Christ came into this world. The light hated the darkness because it showed its deeds were evil. And that's what the world still hates. That's what the darkness still hates. So I didn't really want to do this, but I found myself really needing to. I used to do this fairly regular, and that is on my social media accounts, is to give the invitation that if you sent me a friend request at any point, and I accepted it, and maybe you, again to think, maybe you made a mistake. Listen, I still love you. I may disagree with you strongly about things, but if that's you, then feel free to unfriend me. I will not get upset. I will not get mad about it. I will not go around now. I'm not saying I wouldn't tell anybody, but I'm not going to go ahead and broadcast, oh, somebody unfriended me. Listen, it really doesn't bother me. We're all free to make our own choices. You're free to make yours. But I reserve the same right. And if I tell you, if you know we disagree that much on something, I usually check out people's Facebook page or the social media page before I send them a request. And that's another thing. If I sent you a request, and maybe you've decided that you made a mistake by accepting it, still, if you want to unfriend me, it's not going to be a big deal. Why? I said. So you say unfriend me on social media. Why should that be a big deal? It's not for me. Now, at the same time, also, and this is the issue that's come up recently. I just saddens me. But someone sent me a friend request, and since I've gotten it. To be friends, man, about half the stuff on there is what I get, and my feed is racist. Now, you may deny that, or that person may deny that, but it is. I just want to make it clear. I do not have time. I do not condone racism. I do not have time for it. I do not have time for people who are obsessed with their skin color, whether it's white or black or purple, yellow, whatever it is. It doesn't matter. This body, you think you see me here. You really don't see me. You see the house that God gave me to live in. My spirit and my soul dwell in this house. That's all it is. Something to get around in while I'm here and carry around my computer up here with me that's getting where it don't work as good as it used to. But why obsess over something like that? That is racist. And what gets me is every once in a while they say something about Jesus, say something about church. But the other 90% of this stuff is about racism, about the color of your skin and about how people of your color are discriminated against and all, disadvantaged, and I don't know what all else. And today I saw a long list. I don't know how far it goes back. It must go back many, many years of all the people that supposedly died at the hands of police. But as far as I know, they were all black people. Is there a difference? Well, I know what you're going to claim is that it's unequal. Well, yeah, maybe, but that doesn't always indicate racism. I'll be very plain. You want to talk out and throw out all this stuff, racist stuff, and tell about how every criminal with black skin in some of your ideas evidently has never done anything wrong. They're the sweetest little kids. They may have robbed a couple of banks. They may have shot somebody. They may have strong-armed somebody. But they're just sweet kids. And they'll always be that way. It doesn't matter if they've grown up and done prison time. They're still just sweet little kids. And when they do something, the news media, that's what they go back to. They don't put out the picture of the current criminal. They put that little kid's picture up there to make it look, the police shot this innocent little kid. When are you going to wake up and realize what they're doing? Their very purpose is to divide us. And they're doing a good job of it. But they can only do that if we allow them to. Let me say this to my black friends of color. This list that I saw had, I don't know, it must have been a couple hundred or more people. Long list down through it, I guess indicating minorities who had been shot by police or died in police custody or something. Probably any stretch of the imagination, they're probably there. And who knows how far it went back? I don't know, don't have any clue, don't really care to. I've said before, I can go tit for tat on that stuff. If you want me to dig up all the stuff and the crimes, the atrocities that black people have committed against whites and even other races, then I could do that, but I won't unless I'm really pushed hard. I'd rather not do that, but it's out there. So why do we obsess? Why and how long are we going to, as Christians, are we going to continue to obsess over our skin color? I mean, if you obsess over your skin color all the time, then you're a racist. If you're obsessed over my skin color, you're a racist. Let's put it that way. If I do the same thing, I'm a racist. I saw a well-known pastor here a while back preaching to his people, a black congregation. And he's trying to reassure them. They were concerned. What were they concerned about? Well, when they get to heaven, will they still be black? My. If Jesus is going to be there, what difference does it make? Tell me where you're and who you're worshiping and what you're worshiping. You might as well take a knife or something and just shave a little tiny piece of skin off and stick it up on the altar and worship that, because that's what you're doing. You claim to be worshiping Jesus Christ. You cannot follow Jesus Christ and be a racist at the same time. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of racism. I spoke out against it for 40 years now. And when things begin to seem like it improved, I mean, it got to where I as a white man, I didn't even know he was racist anymore. Now it's beginning to change again as we see ramping up the news media trying to bring it up. Let me say this too. I mean, this is another thing that just adds to fuel to the fire. I've heard this said so many times, and people repeat it. I think even President Obama repeated it. It's nonsense. I'm not saying it didn't ever happen, hasn't ever happened. Any racial incident happened, people started coming up and saying, well, I hadn't heard this in a while, but it used to be very prominent. Well, yeah, I walk down the street and walk by cars and I hear the car door starting to lock just because I'm a black man walking or a black woman walking down the street, you know. Or I get on an elevator and there's a white woman on there and she clutches her pocketbook a little, her purse a little tighter and indicating how racist she is. Well, listen, do you ever stop and think that maybe that man in that car or that person in that car, maybe a black man had carjacked that person's car before, had been a victim, or somebody loved one, maybe someone that they knew, had been severely injured or something, maybe killed? Have you ever thought that somebody may have had their purse taken and snatched by a black man as they're getting off an elevator maybe? Maybe that's the reason they clutched it tighter. Listen, don't act like you have no sin. The Bible says that all have sinned and come short of the glory of God. That means me, that means you. Doesn't matter what color skin you have. And while I'm on this, and I've mentioned this, it's been a long time since I've mentioned this, but let me just say this. And I love black people just as much as I love white people. I love my black friends as much as I love my white friends. And I will tell the truth to both. And I have. If you want to get mad and gnash your teeth and stop your ears like they did when they stoned Stephen, and have at it. If you want to throw rocks, go ahead and throw the rocks. Have at it. But remember what Jesus said, he that without sin, let him cast the first stone. But boy, we're so ready. We're so ready. And I'm telling you this for, not that it'll go anywhere, I guess, to do a whole lot of good, but maybe it'll help a little if somebody will get hold of it. I mean, this is to my black friends. You say, boy, you don't sound much like a friend. If I wasn't, I wouldn't be having this conversation. I just keep quiet. As long as black communities, and all of them do not do this, I'm not labeling all of them in one blanket statement, but as long as many of black communities continue to harbor criminals and hide them from police and protect them from police and riot and protest every time one of them is arrested or they're harmed because they resist arrest, then friend, there's nobody can help your communities. I don't care how much money is poured into them. You will still have the same crime problem because you harbor and protect those criminals that criminalize your own people in your own community. That commit crimes against them. But then when the police show up to arrest them, you take their side. Always. Oh, yeah. Oh, it's such a sweet child. We're going to have to take some ownership of our own failures and raising our kids the way we have. That's everybody, not just black. We've all got some problems there. But if you, my point, I guess, just get to the final place I was headed with this. Kind of went in a roundabout way, but I felt like I need to get that needs to be said. Don't send me friend requests if all you're going to do is send me all this garbage about how wonderful black people are, or your people. I don't care if they're white people or what. Any race of people. Don't send me, tell me how wonderful all of your people are and how bad these other races are. Just, hey, go on somewhere else. Find you another friend somewhere. Bombard them with that stuff. I don't need it. I don't have time for it. I'm not going to put up with it. Now, I may have my views. I've got my political views. I've got my religious views. And I'm going to make them known. But that don't mean I have to down you because of you're not the same as me. Oh, I may every once in a while slip up and say a few negative remarks, but I try not to do too much of that. But some of you it's constant. It's constant. And again, I'm not spewing hatred toward anybody. I mean, we went through a spell here a while back that Christians were accused of being intolerant and hateful, and as an attempt to silence us. Nobody wants to be labeled as either of those things, but we are. Let's just make sure we're not guilty of it. So let's see if we can't just get along and quit this nonsense. I invite you, if you are obsessed with your skin color, to bow the knee to Jesus. Ask His forgiveness. Ask Him to help you. I mean, I've had to do the same thing. It's hard in a way, but then it's not hard. It's so simple. God have mercy on me, a sinner, one said, as he was down at the temple. And Jesus said that man went to his house justified. So maybe you may go to church and attend church all the time and regular. That doesn't mean you've been saved. That doesn't mean you're a Christian. Doesn't mean you're a child of God. Any more than if you slept in the garage or whatever. Doesn't make you a car. Except you be born again, you shall not see the kingdom of God. Give your heart to Jesus. He has a brand new one waiting for you. That symbolizes the new birth. Jeremiah said 24/7. Now somebody just told me the other day, we've all got the same old wicked heart. No, we don't. Because if you've been born again, Jesus Christ said, I'll give you a new heart. That's what the Bible teaches. Over in Jeremiah 17:9, it tells about that wicked heart, and that's what people dwell on. That's the unregenerate heart of man. But the same prophet over in Jeremiah 24:7 also said this, speaking for God, I will give you a new heart, a heart to know me as Lord. That tells me the heart we're born with can't know Him as Lord. Not capable. It's too sick. It's incurable. But He'll give us a brand new one. So that's why I can say, give your heart to Jesus. He has a brand new one waiting for you. Let Him come in and let Him control your life. He'll do a better job of it than you do. And by the way, that's what the world wants us to do. The world's got its mantra. Oh, follow your dreams. Follow your dreams. Jesus said, take up your cross and follow me. So which are you going to do? Some of you certainly not doing that. Some of you are following your own dreams. Some of you your own worldly aspirations. Jesus said all these things are going to be burned up. All right, enough for just it's going to be just a couple minute talk. Again, I don't say this. Yeah, I may sound a little angry, and maybe I am. I'm not going to, deny all of it, but I don't hate anyone. That's not said in hatred. It's said in disappointment. Dale Little, Rescue America Ministries.